I bought my father's old car last month. It was a 1994 Volvo wagon, teal green, boxy, with that distinct smell of old vinyl and peppermint gum that he always kept in the ashtray. He passed away 2 years ago, and seeing the car sitting in the dealer's lot, it felt like seeing a ghost. I had to have it. I spent the whole weekend restoring it, washing the wax off the hood, vacuuming the back seats, polishing the chrome. It was on Sunday evening, when the sun was going down, that I finally got around to cleaning out the glove compartment. It was stuck shut, jammed with decades of forgotten receipts and napkins. I had to use a screwdriver to pry it open, and that's when I saw it tucked all the way in the back, behind the owner's manual and a stack of cassette tapes he used for his commute, was a small white cassette tape. There was no label on the spine, just a date written on the front in his sharp black marker. October 14th, 1994. I froze. I was 8 years old in October of 1994, and that was the month my parents told us they were getting divorced. My hands started shaking. I remember that month. I remember the silence in the house. I remember the way they would stop talking the second I walked into the room. I remember thinking it was my fault. Kids do that, you know. We think we have control over everything. If I get straight A's, maybe they'll stay. If I don't complain about dinner, maybe they'll stop fighting. If I'm just quieter, maybe they'll be happy again. I held the tape for a long time. The plastic was cool against my palm. I looked at the car's dashboard. It still had the original cassette player. I shouldn't have played it. I know that now. Some memories are better left buried, but I couldn't help myself. I needed to know what was on it. I needed to know what happened in the weeks before everything fell apart. I pushed the tape into the deck. There was that familiar mechanical click-whir sound, a moment of static hiss, and then their voices. It wasn't a fight. That's what shocked me the most. I had spent 30 years remembering the shouting. I remembered the slamming doors. I remembered the cold wars where they wouldn't look at each other for days. But on this tape, it was quiet. It sounded like it was recorded late at night, maybe in the kitchen. I could hear the hum of the refrigerator in the background. My dad's voice came first. He sounded exhausted, not angry, just tired, the kind of tired that sleep doesn't fix. He said, "I can't do this anymore, Sarah. I'm drowning." My mom didn't yell. Her voice was small. She just whispered, "I know. I feel it too." I sat in the driver's seat of that car, gripping the steering wheel, listening to a conversation I was never supposed to hear. A conversation they had while I was asleep in the next room. My dad said, "I don't want the girls to see us like this. I don't want them to grow up thinking this is what marriage looks like. I don't want them to think that love means being miserable together." He paused. I could hear him take a shaky breath. "I want to be a father they can be proud of. But when I'm around you, when we're like this, I'm not that man. I'm just a shadow. I'm just angry. My mom started to cry. I could hear the catch in her throat. She said, "If we stay, we'll destroy them. We're already doing it. They're walking on eggshells in their own house." And then my dad said something that broke my heart into a million pieces. Something he never, ever said to me when I was a child. He said, "I love you, Sarah. I always will, but I can't live with you anymore. And I'm not leaving you. I'm leaving the war. I'm leaving so that when they look at me, they see their dad, not a soldier." I sat there in the dark car, tears streaming down my face. For 30 years, I had believed a lie. I believed they left each other because they stopped caring. I believed they chose their freedom over their family. But listening to that tape, I realized the truth. They didn't break up because they stopped loving each other. They broke up because they loved us too much to let us grow up in a war zone. They made the hardest decision of their lives. They tore their own world apart so that we could have a peaceful one. My dad moved into a tiny apartment 3 blocks away. I remember visiting him there. He made me pancakes every Sunday. He listened to my stories about school. He was present. He was happy. He was the dad he wanted to be. And my mom, she finally started painting again. She laughed more. The house wasn't silent anymore. It was filled with music and life. They saved themselves, and in doing so, they saved us. I sat in that car until the tape clicked and stopped. I took the cassette out and held it against my chest. I thought about all the years I spent resenting him for leaving. All the times I blamed myself. All the anger I carried, and I let it go. I forgave them.